Greetings, Steiners, and welcome to another edition of the Cooking Zone here on the Doomstead Diner. And we've been preparing all week meals or courses for our Diner's 7th anniversary celebration dinner. And we have done a salad, and we have done appetizers and a soup, and now, at last, what you have all been waiting for, the main courses. And the one we're going to prep up today and cook is our steak, okay, which is a beautiful prime, grade A prime, USDA steak that really is very close to Wagyu, like Australian Wagyu, in its fat content and quality. And we'll get to the steak in a little bit. But first, the steak needs accompaniment. At least I like accompaniment, with it. For me, steak and mushrooms. Mushrooms are the ideal complement to steak, sort of like spaghetti and meatballs, right? Which is a great combination. And then also, I actually have mushrooms that are like, real close to their expiration date here, in terms of my being able to use them. This one's pretty close. This one is like super close. And I want to use these mushrooms before they go bad, like so much of my food does. So we're going to prep up the mushrooms today. And, I know you don't really need to see how to slice up a mushroom. It is not a complicated procedure. You don't need to be a fucking rocket scientist to cut up a mushroom. Although it does help if your arms work right, which mine don't always do. And, here's another one that's real close to expiration date. And I cut them pretty thick. I just like to make sure that they lay flat in the saute pan when I saute them up. And, that's the main important part. You want them to be nice and meaty when you bite into them with the steak. And that one's pretty far gone, but it'll saute up okay. And now we got two that are a little bit newer. These guys are good. And they're bigger mushrooms, as you can see. And I'm going to do these, instead of 3s, I'm going to do them in 5s. More mushrooms slices for your steak. Or, something else maybe, because I think the amount of mushrooms that I'm cutting up here is probably more than the amount of steak that I'm going to cook. Because although it's a really beautiful piece of steak, it's not a huge one. Just a nice size ribeye. Oops. Busted up the mushroom on that one. And one more slice. And mushrooms are cut up. Alright. our next steps in the cooking process for the steak is to saute the mushrooms, get them prepared, and then we're going to do some seasoning of the steak. And the seasoning, in this case, it's not very complicated. Because when you have a really good steak, you don't want to drop a whole lot of seasonings on it. You want it to speak for itself, which I believe this one will. And then one more thing before I leave the airwaves here and leave this particular episode, which is I've been getting emails from people who are trolls, people who have been trolling me on the internet for God knows how long, and they, give me all sorts of shit for doing cooking videos on a collapsed website. Like, cooking doesn't have something to do with a collapse. Food and collapse, they're not related. You don't see the connection there. What? But I don't respond to these people anymore. But I still get the fucking emails, and then they'll say things in them that make it clear to me that they never even watched the fucking video. They're just out there to troll me. They don't even know what I'm doing. And that is very annoying. When people criticize you, but they don't even take the time to watch a 10-minute video. I'm not talking hours-long stuff here. It's short. You can do it on your coffee break if you're interested in food, whatever. If you're not interested in food, don't watch the video, but don't email me either, okay? I don't need to hear your bullshit. Go fuck yourself, basically, generally speaking. All right, so I ranted. I feel better now. I can go on to doing more cooking, and which is what I will do, because these mushrooms, which actually don't look too bad once they have been sliced up. They actually look pretty decent. I'm going to go ahead and do the mushrooms, and then the steak, and I'm also going to make a Cabernet sauce for the steak. I mean, the diner's 7th anniversary dinner is a major occasion for me, and I don't do much complex cooking anymore. I'll make an egg and eat an egg or something like that. But this gave me an excuse to get back in the kitchen and go nuts on the cooking. And as a result, I've got, oh God, a ton of leftovers now already that I have to work my way through, which I will, I hope, or at least some of them. And it's been enjoyable, if it's sometimes difficult to do this. So, okay, that's enough for now, and that's all from the cooking zone. This time until next time, here on the Doomstead Diner. Later, folks.